So basically, when Kaizer Chiefs have gone away to Royal AM, they've never won.
They've never won in the league.
It's Podcast Friday! It's Podcast Friday. Last week, Mark had to hold it down for the first 15 minutes of the show. He did well. We're appreciative of that. Come on, Marky Mark. A man of many talents. We appreciate it, man. We had connecting difficulties. I was out in the Ivory or in Côte d'Ivoire and I had difficulties connecting, but Mark held it down until I was able to come on. He joins us today. Pro Pilane all the way from Durban. And of course, Nadim is here with us as well. A couple of stories that we need to cover. Firstly, PSL football is back. And it begins this evening. So we can't wait for that. We'll get into a little bit of PSL football. You do know Opta Jabu is part of the show as well. Follow him at Opta Jabu for the very latest. And then, international news. It is official. Mbappe is leaving Paris Saint-Germain. He's gone. He's leaving. He's going. Right? So, there are two options as to where he might go. I really don't think the other one is an option. But that's just me. So we'll get into that, and we'll speak about what the guys think about Mbappe leaving Paris Saint-Germain. And then, of course, we'll touch on local news. A big game tomorrow, Sundowns versus Orlando Pirates. Thembinkosi Lorch could start the game against Orlando Pirates. A lot of the Sundowns boys that traveled with Bafana, of course, not available for this match. Only 2 of them trained this week even. So we'll take a look at that news and so much more. Julius Malema had a lot to say at the airport, but one particular thing stuck out. And we want to... The victory of Bafana, and it's victory not in that they won the trophy, but the victory of how well they did in coming third. It's a big victory for SAFA. It's a big victory for South Africans, really. What does it mean for Danny Jordaan as the president? All of that and more. Starting off in Durban, Pro Pilane Pro. I hear you are leaving us after this show again.
Good evening, Andile. Good evening to the Jansen studio, and good evening to all the listeners of this number one sports show in South Africa. Yes, of course, I'm taking a break again. I need to focus. There's a top 4 that one needs to focus on. We need to finish in the top 4. So, it's doing my work. Look at me.
Look at you indeed. I mean, speaking about Amazulu, of course, which is where Pro Pilane holds his 9-5 nowadays. They're sitting in 8th at the moment after 16 matches with 22 points. There's still a lot to play for in that top 4 position. Still very much achievable by Amazulu. Mark? How you doing, bud?
Great to be here, man. Obviously looking forward to the start or the continuance of the PSL, and so a lot to look forward to over this weekend.
Big game, of course, today. SuperSport United Stellenbosch is the one that's going to be kicking it off. I'll give you the other fixtures and we'll touch on some of those fixtures, but I think the big game we're going to be touching on is that Orlando Pirates, that's Sundowns versus Orlando Pirates, because it is a Sundowns home game tomorrow evening. But first, welcome.
Yeah, Andy, it's good to be. You know, Pilane is just a lovely guy. He can always find a way to make you laugh. Of course, Amazon are not going to be in the top 4. I think because they felt that maybe it's positive speaking, but they are not good enough.
All right. Well, geez. Bullets fired. Like, we haven't even started the show.
As if, just like, put it frankly.
Yeah, we're not here to make easy decisions, Andy.
Let's get into it, boys. And let's perhaps put this AFCON to rest, Starting off with what happened at the airport. Julius Malema was there alongside with some officials that were there as well. He had an opportunity to speak. And it's not necessarily about him saying what he said, but I'll ask you the question after. Have a listen to this.
The fact that Danny must go still remains. He needs to go. But for now, we want to concentrate on celebrating Bafana and not spoil the whole celebration with politics of football. Our being here, our listening to Danny here, it doesn't make him a good leader.
Pro, I would have thought good leadership is, hiring a man that is good enough for the job and allowing him to do his job, taking the team to where it is now. But Julius seems to think differently, and he doesn't seem to be alone in that thinking. Bafana having achieved what they did, what does this mean for Danny Jordaan's leadership as the president of SAFA? Pro, are you there?
Yes, Andile.
Oh, there you go. Please go for it.
For me, I was disappointed in a sense that Any leader that criticizes another leader on a public platform, for me, I don't think it shows good leadership at that particular time. I felt that there are platforms where a leader like CIC Malema can express his disappointment on Dr. Jordaan, and I don't think that was the right platform for me. But I understand where it's coming from, and I understand that maybe he has had a lot of public outcry around Dr. Jordaan, but he is not even giving us the reasons why he wants him to go. So for me, I don't think it's a fair criticism.
Well, I mean, let's put aside, because like I said, that was the conversation starter. My question essentially is, what is this victory? What is this victory for SAFA? Not for continental victory, of course, because we didn't win it. But what is this achievement by Bafana? What does it mean for Dr. Jordaan in your view?
It means a lot. It means a lot. It's a complete turnaround for him. It's a complete turnaround for the association, because Bafana is the cash cow of the association. I do believe that it means that maybe it's buying him a couple of years again at the helm. I don't know, but I do feel that this AFCON turnaround means a lot to the association itself and to the players as well, and to the PSL as well. It means a lot. So for me, I don't think that we should start throwing stones at the association and the leader himself. I think we should just give them a round of applause and focus on qualifying for the next World Cup.
Mark?
That's a tough one to reconcile with. I honestly, I believe that everyone should be judged based on the work they've done. And when we look at this performance of Bafana, I've often asked the question, this bronze medal, is it because of or in spite of SAFA's assistance or whatever the case may be? And if you look at just Coach Bruce's tenure, since he's been in charge, how often has he come and, just lamented certain issues that shouldn't really be plaguing the national team? I think when you look at the tenure of Dr. Jordaan, has it been a success? That needs to be judged basically on results. Look at our junior national teams. Have we really forged ahead? Have we made strides? Are we getting better? Are we improving? I don't think we can say that. Despite the performance of Bafana, despite the performance of Banyana, are we regressing or are we progressing? I would say it is the latter, the former. And so based on that, we have to judge people.
Nadim?
By judging people, what do you mean?
Whether they should continue or not.
What do you mean? Should we continue or not?
Who, Dr. Jordaan?
Yes.
For my money, no. I think.
Thank you. That's
he's
clear. Yeah.
Next time, just I'll stay in Abidjan.
No, sorry, Andy. I just want.
What is your thought?
I honestly think he has done well with hiring Desiree, and Desiree went on to win the women's AFCON, and he's the same guy who hired Hugo Bros, Jordaan, and who took Bafana. I mean, I was one of those people who felt this team was not good enough to go all the way. But honestly speaking, I have to agree with Julius Malema that it's basically time for new leadership. He has not taken Bafana maybe where he should have been. Even he's yet to qualify for a World Cup, even the AFCON. It's not been, besides this AFCON, Bafana previously they've not done well. There's no under 23 as we speak. The school soccer has been destroyed. Most people ask me, where can I take my son if I want to join maybe a school for soccer? There are no even development schools. School of Excellence, they were dramas. They've not been proper structures in terms of development. Now we're relying on Sundowns to win something for the country. They're the one who make the Banyana win the AFCON. Balco players were coming from Sundowns women's team. Bafana, 87% of the Bafana players are PSL players, and majority of them are Sundowns players. We can't give Jordaan credit for that. You can only give it to Sundowns management, Patrice Motsepe, and all those guys who are running that team. I honestly feel that, Jordaan has done well. Maybe he has done what he could. Of course, but time for new leadership. I honestly feel that Julius is right. Maybe the timing was not the best, but sometimes you have to say things. Maybe there's no better timing.
Is it my turn now?
Of course.
So Dr. Jordaan has done well, but he must go.
Yes, done what he can. Yes, done what he can.
He's done well, but he must go.
He has not done well. He has done what he can.
Okay.
Yes, he must go.
I know you must be clear. Has he done well or not?
Mfana Pilaneng he has not done well.
But for Banyana to be where on the continent and to be where they are, to if you look at how they performed at the World Cup, you look at how Bafana has also performed at AFCON. In your opinion, he has still not done well.
I gave him credit for hiring Desiree as a coach. Even Desiree made a mistake. Banyana maybe should have won the World Cup by dropping Andile. But that's not the story. The story that Banyana should have done well at the World Cup, but Jordaan is not improving South African football. If you look at the development structures, we were in the studio, Pilano, when we were talking that is now, if you want your kid to play soccer, you need to pay like 2,000, 3,000 a month. Most of these people are seeing as a business opportunity because there are no clear development structures where you can take your kids to play football. Because of that, SAFA has not done well in the grassroots level. SAFA is not running Bafana only. It has to be also the development of South African football. He's not the right guy to take the development structures to the right level.
Right, we're going to move on. We're going to take a break first. When we come back, who is, and I hope I say this right, Mark, you more better at these things than I am. Simon van der Ven Bouden. Is that right?
Daven Bouden.
Daven Bouden. But there's a Van, so how do you say the whole thing?
Yeah, Simon. I'd probably be, I would imagine, but yeah, Van Daven Bouden.
There you go. That. Who is he? When we come back. 23 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Welcome to it. It is Podcast Friday. The guys are here. I said a name a little bit earlier, and Mark, say it again.
Daven Bouden. Van Daven Bouden.
There you go. Simon van Daven Bouden. Who is he, and why is he being mentioned in South African context? I think we had an interview with him, didn't we? We spoke to him on the show, actually, about a year ago. And this is what he had to say.
I'm Simon. I live in Holland. Yeah. I'm 20 years old. I play for Vitesse in Arnhem, and I want to play for Bafana. I'm a strong player, strong striker. You can use me as target man, and in front of the goal, I'm a scoring machine. I can shoot with left, with right, and I have great heading.
He's 21 years old, born out in Netherlands, but he does have South African citizenship. He announced that, of course, earlier this week to say, hey, Bafana, I'm available. What do we know about this man? What are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, I can't say I know anything about him. I literally just heard about him when he made himself available for Bafana. And obviously he's played in Holland the past 2 seasons prior to this one. Hasn't played this season. He's scored 1 goal in 11 matches. And, you know, most of those games have been off the bench. He's still only 21 years old. He's 1.9 meters tall. So he does offer, you know, something different.
Plays in the Eredivisie.
He does play in the Eredivisie. It's a top, you know, and Vitesse is not a bad team. And so he's someone to look at. He's an option. He doesn't automatically just come in because he plays in Europe, and he's got competition. And so if he's good enough, he should play. If he's willing to play for Bafana and he's good enough, is he better than what we have?
I mean, he'd probably be second to Lyle in terms of league difficulty where he plays. Maybe him and Lebo, you could say, you know, probably on equal footing as far as that is concerned. He plays at a top league. He's only 21 years old. What do you think, Nadeem? Is it something we should be looking at? Is it maybe, you know, I remember players back in the day, Gordon Egerson. I can never remember this player who he saw on the internet and he watched on YouTube. Is it one of those?
You know what? He played in Holland, which is like the team that usually in the Europa League. So we need a good pool of players. Yeah. Because now we have to rely on Mahoba, Lipasa, who have not scored a goal for the past 5 months. But by the standard of the league, you can see that he's playing in a tough league, even though this season he's not been playing. I honestly think he might be a good addition because he's still young, like 20, 21 years. He can still improve, maybe if he can play regularly. I don't know, maybe if you can also consider maybe joining a team where he's going to play regularly. Because the fact that he has not played even a single game this season is also not good. It shows that maybe he's not that good enough. Because each and every good player must not be sitting on the bench.
Because there was a thought when I'm pro that the fact that he announced himself the way that he does is he probably thinks that South Africa don't have good enough players. He's not playing in his team. He's sitting on the bench and in the stands, but he feels he could make Bafana. You know, there was a thinking that I'm on, maybe a little bit arrogant, maybe a little bit of not seeing us as we like to say.
But Andile, we've seen about Ricardo Nunes before. The one that was brought by Coach coordinator.
Oh, that was his name, yes.
We've seen about Lars Verbeek. Yeah, we've seen a lot of strikers. We've seen about David Soma. At one stage, we were told that he was a lead player, and when he came to play for Bafana, we did not see the quality. And I'm not saying this one is not quality, and I'm not saying this one won't make it. But if he does play for Bafana, and if he does make it, it will be credit to him. But I do feel on my side, I'm very skeptical about this type of players because they don't have the natural instincts of playing for Bafana Bafana. They don't understand the pedigree of playing for Bafana Bafana. It's all about their profiles and it's all about earning those international caps. But I just hope and pray that this one proves me wrong. And if he gets an opportunity, he does well and he does well for himself as well. That's all I can say about him. Otherwise, these type of players, I've heard a lot of stories about them. I've heard how they struggle to adapt to South African style of play and how they struggle to adapt to South African players, especially the ones that are playing locally. So it's going to be interesting to see how it develops going forward.
Well, we'll wait for it and hear it. Hugo Bruce, of course, he's the kind of man that watches all the leagues. He watches all the players. I wonder if he was ever in his radar. I will surely ask him about him when I do see him to say, was this player ever on your radar? Because when you look at the season prior to this one, 22-23, 9 matches in total, 1 goal, I think it was, in that league. So not a man that gets out much in terms of playing, but 21 years old. So maybe we cut him some slack there. Let's move on and come back home. I had a conversation with Lorch who's a lawyer representing both Royal AM and Morocco Swallows Football Club. This time around it was about Andile Jali. Andile Jali had taken Swallows to the DRC to say, hey guys, these guys owe me money. Also, they fired me in ways that I don't understand. They need to reinstate me. Here's what he had to say.
So Andile took Swallows to the DRC on an agent base, demanding reinstatement and payment of image rights, as well as outstanding salary for January and last year, December. The case was struck from the roll for lack of agent. Actually, it was thrown out. We called it. So he had to pay Swallows costs for the sitting of today or for the entire application.
Mark, your former team this. I always remind you and come to you. Andile versus Swallows. Round 1 goes to Swallows. You know, not urgent, thrown out is the case. And I guess Swallows have the upper bid on this, and they were right. If you want to play again, if you want money, you must beg.
Yeah, I think it's a sad state of affairs when you look at how the whole situation is played out with Swallows, the fact that even in the league, I go back to the fact that we had a walkover at the top level. It's actually embarrassing. But for them now, with the whole Andile case, it goes back to player representation as well in terms of getting proper help, proper guidance. You can't just go in and, off the back of, a contract that you sign that maybe you don't understand completely. And that's why players need to be guided in the right way as well. I'm not sure if Andile had representation or what the situation may have been, but it is so important that we as players, need to equip ourselves and get the proper guidance, however that may, or whatever shape or form that may take, whether it's a lawyer, whether your agent gets involved, whatever the case may be. But you do need help in these cases because Swallows have gone to get a big gun to represent them. So players need to be well represented as well.
Yeah, it was struck for lack of agents, so he still have a chance to fight Swallows. Rightfully so, he should, because Swallows, the way they are running things, is actually painful. Because some of the players, we know them very well. What they've been through with Swallows, where they've not been paid for months, thereafter then they were told that they were not owing anything. It's just a sad scenario. But you just know that Swallows are hiding something. Immediately they hire a lawyer, because the owner of Swallows, David, he likes talking to the media. He's been talking to the media when he brought in Steve Kompela, Morgan Mamela, and all those things when he was making those changes. Immediately start hiring lawyers. You know that he's hiding something. That's why he needed Chobejana to mastermind the whole thing of not paying players and all those kind of things, just like Mamkize did with Nukovic. In this case, we hope Andile that he must continue fighting this matter on, because it's actually unfair for him, because he joined Swallows. He thought maybe he's going to enjoy his football there. Then there were stories where they were not paid. Some of the players we know very well. We spoke to them. Maybe they signed an NDA now that they can't come out public and say, yes, we have not been paid. But it is a fact. That's why David hired lawyers to come and say all those things. We just hope Swallows' matter will be resolved. Maybe the leadership of PSL would start intervening when things like this, because this is the best league in Africa. It's unfair when players are now, their contract is being cut like that. Now they must come and play.
Do you see Andile fitting into any other team? Because he's not welcome to Swallows. That was not mixed.
No, definitely.
Straight.
Cape Town City can play, not Cape Town City, man. Cape Town Space, Richards Space, Kukune. There are teams that he can still play. But the way I saw him at Swallows, he's no longer an elite player. He's no longer a T player who can be a superstar in this league. I know 2 years ago, he was the best player in the PSL. But obvious, let me stop the Andile before.
All right. Andile Jali, no longer with Swallows, of course. And I think Lorch said that he will not play for Swallows again. That relationship has been severed. What do you think? Do you think, is there a team where you can see Andile Jali fitting?
Not sure if Andile can go back and beg for the job, as Ule Rumo has said and denied. But for me, I really feel Andile needs to be on the field. He needs to play. I just hope and pray that he finds another team if there's still an opportunity for him to join another team. But the relationship is broken with Andile. It cannot be fixed. Once it gets into this level, it becomes more toxic. I just hope and pray that the matter can be resolved as soon as possible and both parties can leave the table happy. And just wish Andile can find a team and play football again.
All right, let's put that one to rest and go to the next one here. International news now. Fabrizio breaking the news on Kylian Mbappe. He will be leaving PSG. He's already told the management at PSG that he will no longer play for them come the summer. He will be moving on. There's two big names that have been touted. Manchester United are out. They're saying no big name player wants to go to Man United at the moment. He can't go to Man City because obviously there's already a leading striker there. And I don't see him and Haaland playing in the same team, and so that's gone out the way. What other big teams are there really?
Madrid is going to Madrid.
Well, then there's two that are still on the table: Real Madrid as well as Arsenal.
Only one, Madrid. That's it. Because he's always been a dream. I mean, there was a time when he was like young, he took a picture with Ronaldo. He's a fan of Madrid. He's always wanting to play there. Before the World Cup, there was an agreement with the French president that he mustn't leave PSG, of which that's what he did. He spent 2 years. Now he is leaving to join his favorite team because he knows that the only way to win a Ballon d'Or, he can't win a Ballon d'Or while playing for PSG. He has to go to play for Real Madrid. If you play for Real Madrid, you've got more chance of winning the Ballon d'Or than any team. Historically, they produce those players. They know how to assist you. Even Benzema won it, Modric won it. Most people will say Modric, if it was not at Madrid, was not going to win the Ballon d'Or. So he knows that in order to become one of the greatest players, he needs to live there at PSG and join Madrid. That's what he's doing. Madrid will be scary next season.
Mark?
Yeah, I think, people have thrown Arsenal around. I don't think that's, it would even be a good fit if you look at the football that Arsenal play at the moment. I think I agree with Nadim that Madrid is the only...
No-brainer.
Hey?
No-brainer.
No-brainer. It's a great fit for him. If you look at the type of football he is, imagine Vinicius on one wing and Mbappe on the other, whatever the case may be. I think they would literally suit one another. You have a target man, maybe he plays from wide, whatever the case may be. The way Madrid play is definitely Mbappe style football. And so I think he'll be a great fit there. And I don't think it was ever in question. He was holding out so that he can go to Madrid. That was the bottom line. And now he's going on a free. And it's just going to be scary, the figures
that he's going to earn.
That are going to be thrown around. That's going to be the ridiculous part. But I don't think
he's managed by who? His mom, right?
Yeah, his mother is the one.
Yeah, he's managed by his mom. So, geez, she's about to have a payday. She's about to have a payday. Thank you for raising me, Mom. Boom. Pro?
But Andile, if he goes to Manchester United, it will be a fall from grace. Because Manchester United have fallen from that level of being an elite club. There's only one elite club in the world, and that's Real Madrid. And I agree with Nadim. If he really wants to win the Ballon d'Or, Real Madrid is the only club that can offer him that. He can't even move to a club like Bayern Munich because the coach that is there. He destroys every team that he takes over. And for me, I think for the first time I will side with Nadim and say Real Madrid or nothing.
PSL Football is back. We'll touch on that when we come back. Thembinkosi Lorch could make his debut in the starting 11 even tomorrow when he faces Orlando Pirates.
They'll definitely be wanting to give the guys coming back from AFCON a rest. And the guys that have been training without playing matches, they're ready for it. Trust me, it's one of the worst things when you're training for like a month and a bit and there are no official matches. It's very difficult. You play friendly matches and whatever else, but it's always difficult when you're not playing, competitive matches. So I know they're going to be up for it. And yes, it's going to be very interesting to see Thembinkosi Lorch up against his former club. If he scores, will he celebrate? Won't he celebrate? That's what everyone's going to be watching.
He'll celebrate.
Do you think he's going to start?
He should, he definitely. I think, Jose Mourinho always says, you always play the guy who's playing against his former club because he's got added motivation. And so I do believe Coach Rulani will start him.
From what I'm hearing, there's going to be some sort of special thing that's going to happen at the stadium tomorrow. So for those of you that are going to go to the stadium, I think the Sundowns are going to do something with the Thembinkosi Lorch thing. I don't think it's just going to be a, hey, welcome, puts the jersey on and plays. So I think they're going to do something like, I don't know, some sort of jersey handover maybe. I'm not sure. But it sounds like there'll be something.
He even sounded happy from the interview. You can hear that is where he wanted to be. I mean, I always said that I once saw an SMS 4 years ago when Lorch is saying he's playing for the right team when he was playing for Orlando Pirates. He always wanted to play for Sundowns. He's going to work hard. People are going to see, I predict that there's different Lorch at Mamelodi Sundowns is going to be one of those players. We'll see him even get back to the national team. He's playing for Sundowns where he wanted to play. Rulane believes in him. I honestly fear for Orlando Pirates against Sundowns tomorrow.
Pro? But Andile, tomorrow is going to be hectic. I think if he starts the match, it's going to be an emotional decision. I feel that there's going to be a lot of pressure on him if he starts tomorrow. So I feel the best position for Lorch will be to start from the bench and then influence the game later on. Otherwise, it's going to be an interesting match. And looking at the trend and the statistics, it seems like Sundowns are going to continue where they left off.
Nadim has done some maths, in fact.
Not necessarily means if you look in the past 5 seasons, most of the team they failed to reach the 60 points. So Sundowns there's only 6 matches to win the league because I don't see any of the teams reaching 60 points. So that's why I feel Sundowns that they only need, maybe they could need 20-21 matches to win the league. That's how easy it is for them. I mean, if they can almost win the AFCON, like what is the PSL to them?
What?
I mean, Bafana was full of Sundowns players. That team that nearly won the AFCON.
No, behave.
No, but it is easy.
No, behave.
How many times they've won
They nearly won the AFCON.
They did.
Behave. No,
okay. But that's how good they are.
I'm not sure.
I mean, if you look at Mkwena and Williams, they're in the team of the tournament of AFCON. That's how good they are. They are not only now the best players in the PSL, they're now the best players in Africa. If you look at Mkwena, he's being like one of the best players in Africa.
He was definitely one of the best players in AFCON. I actually thought he'd be in with a nod at some sort of award, best player even, but it wasn't to be.
Exactly.
Mudau not making that best 11? What do you think? I thought he deserved a spot in that best 11, Mark.
Kuliso.
Yeah.
You know my thoughts on Kuliso. I'm a massive fan of his. And so, but there's a few guys who really put their hands up if you look at it in that tournament. But Kuliso Mudau definitely should have been in with a shout. But Aina, he did really well. I was very impressed with him as well. He performed solidly, played on the left and on the right during the tournament for Nigeria. And so, if he was going to lose out to someone, it's good that it was someone that also was worthy of the prize. But Kuliso Mudau, I still believe, is one of the best right backs in the world.
Yeah, I can't argue with you on that one. I mean, forever, ever see that goal in my mind. That should have been, but, it's all good. Let's get into it now with Opta Jabu. He joins us on the line, Linda Lamoya, all the way from Cape Town. Linda, PSL football is back. We're talking about Supersport and Stellenbosch up first.
Good evening, Andile, to you and everyone in the studio and the listeners as well. Indeed, PSL football is back, and what an exciting time it is.
Talk to me about Supersport and Stellenbosch, who sits in 3rd and 4th, I think?
Yes, they are in 3rd and 4th. So we have here Stellenbosch, who are winless in 8 games against Supersport post-lockdown. So this is after the COVID pandemic. The only victory they've managed is one in extra time in the MTN 8 in these 8 games. But otherwise, they've drawn 3 and lost 4. So Supersport have had the upper hand there in the last few years.
Now, Nadim has done some rough maths on Sundowns, but you're saying that they've got a new record in sight. I mean, last year, we're speaking about record after record last season. What about this one? What record could they possibly still have to break?
So tomorrow's game is Sundowns' 15th for the season, meaning they are reaching the halfway stage tomorrow. They can become the first ever team in PSL history to go past 40 points at the halfway stage of a 30-game campaign.
Jeez.
They're scary.
What's the closest that anybody's come to that?
So we've had 37 points. That has been done before.
By who?
And it was done by, I believe it was actually Sundowns themselves.
Of course.
37 points. Remember this season they already have 38
not Amazon.
I win.
That's Amazon. It was the usual suspects, Andile. 2014 Kaizer Chiefs, 2021 Sundowns, and 2022 Sundowns.
And as it stands now, they've already broken that record because they're sitting on 38 points.
Yes, they've set a new one.
14, so they've already set the new record.
Exactly. It's just now getting to that 40-point mark, which is sometimes teams get 40 points throughout the whole season, hey?
And they could do it in 15. What about Ronald Williams? I mean, he's not going to be playing that one, I can guarantee you. But you've got something on him when he does play.
Yeah, he may not play. If he does play, he would get his 10th clean sheet of the season. He's currently on 9, and that would take him to 10 in just 15 games.
In 50, guys, come on. Come on.
And I like
He's
the
played
confidence.
14 games and he's had 9 clean sheets.
Did you hear the confidence, though?
I don't think he's going to play.
No, the confidence was if he plays, he's going to get his 10th. It's almost a given. It's a takeaway.
Yeah, ne?
Mark, you think he's going to play? I mean, I read, and I've just, I read that there's a couple of players that are not going to be making it, are going to be given a break. And I think Ronwen, surely, although he might have gone to training, he's going to be one of those.
Possibly. Obviously, that's up to the technical team and the coaches. And obviously, they'll probably be in close conversation with Ronwen as to how he feels. Yeah. But he should be exhausted. He should have, he played a lot of minutes. I mean, if you look at the extra time, how many times we went to extra time. And so a lot of minutes under his belt in this AFCON. So it might be a bit too much to ask of him.
Opta, this is my favorite fixture. One of my favorite fixtures, actually. Let me say that because it's not the only one. One of my favorite fixtures, I think it is the epitome of South African football when you look at this fixture over the years. Sundowns versus Orlando Pirates. What can you tell me about the teams that are 1st and 5th?
So 1st versus 5th again tomorrow night. Andile Sundowns have played 12 matches against Pirates post-lockdown. So that's counting 2020 going forward. And they've only lost just one of those, winning 8 and drawing the other 3. The only one they lost is the famous MTN 8 semi-final about 2 years ago.
Lastly, Royal AM. They take on Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes, Royal AM host Kaizer Chiefs. That's the main difference. Chiefs have lost both away games that they've played away to Royal AM in the league since Royal AM became a top-flight club.
They really struggle with Royal AM away from home Kaizer Chiefs, don't they?
They do struggle. So this will be a chance to change that record. Hopefully, it's 3rd time likely for Amakos.
So basically, when Kaizer Chiefs have gone away to Royal AM, they've never won.
They've never won in the league.
Yo, Opta, how do they follow you?
Opta Dabu and Ladum Analytics on all social media platforms. Andile, thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. He's out of here. Pro, which game do you want to talk about for tomorrow? Give us a quick snippet of what you want to say.
But Andile, you know that I'll be in Cape Town tomorrow collecting my 3 points. And but the most important game, and I think the most interesting game for every football fan, will be Pirates versus Sundowns. And I don't see Rulani being derailed by Orlando Pirates. For me, I feel that Sundowns will dominate the proceedings once again, and they're going to take the 3 points as usual. But other than that, it's good for the league that is back, and we can fight and argue again, and for the betterment of the product. That's all I can say for that.
Mark, which game?
Well, I think tonight's game is going to be very interesting. Obviously, we know, everyone's talking about Sundowns and Pirates, but I think Supersport versus Stellenbosch, is going to be 2 master tacticians, if I can say that. I think Gavin Hunt and Steve Barker, 2 fantastic coaches. And so it's going to be great to see exactly, especially given what we've just heard about the record that Supersport hold over Stellenbosch, how, they can possibly, Stellenbosch, what they're going to do to try and turn things around. They've been one of the most impressive teams this season, I would say. And so it's going to be interesting, that one.
Nadim.
I'll go with TX Galaxy versus Golden Arrows. I know Maputi Kanyas has been struggling. I expect TX Galaxy to win that game. In Bombela and the Sprite, I honestly feel that after losing the final of the Black Label Cup, they're a team that are organized. They're improving. Team Sugas has done well with that team. Of course, Orlando Pirates and Sundowns, you only see one way.
Which way?
To the home team.
Even without like a Tembazwane, Tebo Homukwena.
Remember, Pirates has conceded 6 goals in the last 2 matches. And in both of those matches, they scored first. Against Supersport, they lost. And against Stellenbosch, who were very tired after winning the Black Label Cup. They played 10 minutes, but they scored 3 goals at Orlando Stadium. With the Pirates coach, you never know. They're just going to play right back. Sometimes you see Makaring, a Hoto left back, even though they've got the Bafana left back, Maela, then they've got Monyane, Shando. You don't know what's happening. I just can't be brave enough and say Pirates will beat Sundowns. I can't.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we take your calls on WhatsApps. WhatsApp on 060-552-7303. Call on 086-000-2160.
Good evening, Andile. How are you, my brother, and all Metro FM listeners? I just want to say this bronze medal, Jordaan mustn't even brag about it. It's not a success, that one. We needed gold.
So I just need to wish Orlando Pirates good luck tomorrow, so that they don't get 6, not half dozen this time. Hey, you know what? Sundowns, have mercy on Orlando Pirates. At least give them 1-0. Moses Mukwena Hamukokwela, thank you.
Good evening, and your opponent in the studio. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to dwell much with Jordaan's issue now, because I believe the guy is still enjoying the moment for now. So once all of this is done and over, players are paid, everybody's happy, then we can start talking about his future. But now I think it's better now to give him just time to enjoy this until we can go back and sit for the new plans. But the most thing that I want to say, I just want to send a big congratulations to the president of CAF, which is Petrus Motsepe, for hosting such an amazing and beautiful tournament. And I think so far with AFCONs that I've watched, this has been my best AFCON that I've ever watched. That's all I want to say. Thanks, Ma. 100%. Great show, my man.
No, he delivered. Dr. Petrus Motsepe said he would deliver the best AFCON ever, and I think he did exactly that. But one of the best things about being a good leader is having the right people around you. His general secretary, amazing guy as well. He's a man that comes from FIFA. He's a man that comes from UEFA. And he came here with all that learned experience. And I think he definitely delivered to the GS out there as well. So, yeah, a great tournament all around. Give me one more, then I want to take calls.
Evening, Miss Andile. Yes, Pershon Dusan from the Valley. I just like to talk about Safa. Yeah, I think Safa has done well for me, I think. The lacking of grassroots support is the only thing that I see, and let's hope, whoever gonna come to the leadership of SAFA in 2-4 years time from now, we'll look at the grassroots football. Coming to Andile Jali, I think he still have football to play in the PSL. I think one of those struggling teams gonna snatch him, and wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Big up, Joshua.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let's take your calls now. Hear your opinions on the matters that have been shared. Let me see. Let's go to Lisibe. It's been a while. Lisibe.
Hey, good evening, Andy, and good evening to Majid and the studio.
Hey, they're right here, man. Go for it.
Yeah, first and foremost, for me, Andile, one of the best players, I agree with Max. Aina from Nigeria has been very superb.
Okay.
Not denying that Mudau is also superb, but for me, Aina. The issue that I made me to call, I want to ask the likes of Mark from the player's perspective. Why are our South African agents, especially 80 to 90%, they are only vocal when they are going to be getting signing on fees? Once their clients are in trouble, like what happened at Swallows, agents are nowhere to be found, which is very disturbing from my side.
Mark is the perfect person to answer that.
Well, if I can answer that, I think an agent doesn't necessarily need to be vocal. He just needs to do his job. And so the agents you don't hear from are the ones that are doing their jobs. There's quite a few guys. Unfortunately, yes, a lot of the players at Swallows maybe didn't have the representation that they needed. But there are a few guys that are well looked after, that were well represented, that you didn't hear anything about because they did their jobs behind closed doors or whatever the case may be. So unfortunately, not all things are equal. Not all agents are equal. Not all representation is going to be equal. And that's the unfortunate reality. And so, again, it boils down to choices made by the players.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to Sinong. Sinong is out in Rustenburg, and he wants to speak about the PSL return. Sinong.
Evening, man.
Hey, go into it, man.
Yeah, it's been a while, man, since we watched PSL. Today's game, especially Sport against Stellenbosch, is going to be an interesting one, but I think it's going to end in a draw, The one for Sundowns and Pirates, it's going to be walk over that one. And because Lorch is going to start, but it's going to be walk over,
A walk over?
Remember, Lorch was the only special player that was left in that Orlando Pirates team. I mean, he was that special gem. Now that gem is out. Just imagine.
Hold on. You're saying Tembikosi Lorch was the only special player left at Orlando Pirates?
Yeah, remember, once in a while you get that special player.
Mufukeng King.
Mufukeng, we haven't seen much about him. We can't talk about Mufukeng. It is Lorch doing much. He performed at the highest level. AFCON, he was there, Now he's gone.
All right. Thank you so much.
I'm waiting. And then on Sunday, Chichi is gonna also win. I think we're gonna win on Sunday. Thank you.
For the first time away.
Yeah. We've been doing well. I think this time we're just gonna collect the points and then come back home and prepare for the
Let's go to Bonkosi out in Dobsonville. Thank you so much, Sinong. I appreciate you. Bonkosi.
Yeah, but
Right, man. Talk to me. Downs and Pirates.
Yeah, no, it's right.
Yeah, Andile, I'm going to game just when I'm going to tell no challenge into obvious. I came back to on the Pirates. The Pirates are good to catch a Pacific ring. The Pirates are bound to be. I should not super food to London. You know what the Canadeko or Williams? I should be London.
Hey, my daughter, when did Orlando Pirates become the team that you can speak like this about? Orlando Pirates.
Ring, Andile. When was the last time Pirates beat Sundowns in the league game? When was the last time?
2020, before COVID, 1-0 at Orlando Stadium.
How many goals did they score against Sundowns in the last five games they meet?
Yeah, none.
You tell me, Andy.
Almost, yeah.
Ring up.
No, Bonkosi, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go to West. West is out in Tembisa. West wants to speak about the PSL return. West, am I the only one that doesn't think that Sundowns and Orlando Pirates is a walkover? It's actually a tough match.
Mr. President, you know, whoever that goes to Pretoria this weekend is going to come back empty-handed.
Yeah.
Whoever that goes to Pretoria this weekend is going to come empty-handed, I promise you. But I must say, I hope Rulane rests some of the players for this weekend. And I mean, I can't wait to see Stellis. With one of their players going to AFCON, I mean, it means a lot to the team like Stellis. They've been playing a very good football as well. But otherwise, congratulations to Bafana again, and all the best to the PSL teams. I hope Swallows can find a way to get a new owner, somebody that's going to be serious about players as well. I mean, our players are not respected. I mean, that's a topic for another day.
It is indeed. Jimmy.
Andile.
Hey, bolela nna jo.
O di morifela mauti mo stadium.
Ya ba utla.
Ambo Andile, never will report that there was someone only who apologized for the whole South Africa or Rabo or the stadium. That will come in and away photo.
Last day, you know, the week before Wednesday. 100%.
Yes. Andile, I'm worried about Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, but you heard, we played the Kevin Johnston clip and he said the team was fine.
Are you sure, Andile?
That's what he said.
Andile, no, I'm not sure. Because in the middle of the field, there's a holding striker, a holding midfielder.
What, a holding striker?
Where are you, Jimmy? You're already talking about holding strikers.
Jimmy, holding striker.
Where exactly calling from?
Like defense, eh?
No, Jimmy. Holding striker, that's the first one. Jimmy, I've got to go. Thank you so much to Jimmy.